Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. This is another special report. The information came in yesterday, but the full transmission came through today. I didn't want to delay any of the information, but I wanted to make sure that I got everything that was necessary and required to come through. Some of you may feel that this information has some basic knowledge that you may have already known about, but there's a movement in the knowledge, and we'll talk about it. You'll see what I'm talking about as the transmission goes forward. This is another message from the Tri Force Conglomerate. Keep in mind that not all of my special reports are related to the Tri Force, but they're the ones that I'm dealing with in particular right now. For basic background information, the Tri Force are a group of civilizations. Tri means three groups of civilizations that are peaceful, benevolent beings, and they have been surviving very carefully during the time in the reign of the Orion Greys, who have been quite destructive and aggressive. They don't necessarily have, they're not necessarily sentient and have a soul signature as we recognize, and so it's not something. I know some people want to save everyone, but it's, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Some of the weird, belief systems that come across it. Certain beings are, especially like the androids. There's no soul. There's not, there's nothing you can do about it. It's just putting these things in there where they belong or whatever, but away from a place where they can cause harm. So if we're realistic and logical, that will make sense. If we just want to be contrary and critique people that don't, if you don't really know what you're talking about, it's probably best to not say anything. But if you do understand and you want to understand and you really have trying to understand and don't fully grasp what's going on here, then it's best to sit back and just observe until you fully understand before you come forward and speak or complain or anything like that. If you are not here to support humanity, then the question is who are you here for? Yourself? For a specific group? Then identify that we know that, and there's also groups to support what you're doing. But if you are not here to listen, then it's fine. If you're here to listen and hear what the information has to say, then this is for you. So I'm going to provide you with transmissions and information that come through that are here to help everyone, not a specific group. And I don't have any partiality. There are those that are doing the right thing. There are those that are confused. There's a lot of mixed messages. This is particularly from the Tri Force and their perspective of what they had experienced, and they're relaying and letting us know in advance that we don't have to suffer as they did in the situation that they had experienced. So I'm going to go forward with the transmission from the Tri Force Conglomerate. We have told you that much is about to happen regarding the changes all around you. The Orion Greys have been working on both factions of the Middle East. One of their primary locations where they may reside is in Benghazi and Tripoli, an area you refer to as Libya. Currently, the borders have been closed and unchecked. This was done deliberately to stop information from flowing through. We have contacted many others who are in the position of power, and none of them listened. This is not a battle between humans. This is a methodic unraveling of your civilization and those who have committed to protect and defend and have been lured into other agendas. Meanwhile, the power center is growing, and we have no other choice than to find others to defend and protect as they have committed to do so. We know your names, energy signature, so we cannot be tricked. We know your gifts, abilities, and desire to help, but we're prohibited to do so because others were in charge. This will no longer be the case. The next generation has arisen to new heights in understanding far beyond the previous group who were here to support the planet. Some of you who rose up after Eisenhower are commended for your good work. It is time to allow the next group to assist in protecting others. The next generation are young in mind and body but have old souls. You know who you are. Getting back to the message, the Orion Greys almost destroyed all living civilizations in the Milky Way. This includes humanoid, insectoid, species of the cat origin, species of the dog origin, and other animal-like species, aquatic species, flora and fauna, and more, including tree species. They had recruited for their agenda the lizard species, reptoid species, gorgon species, bird reptoid species, etc. Some of the ways to identify them is to observe their eyes that often drift to the left. They speak with cunning and deceptive lies, and there is an unusual glow behind their eyelids. According to our calculation, there are 2 more operations that will occur, and then they will have harnessed the power centers of the planet. In the origins of the space or locations we have, which we have chosen to not disclose for obvious reasons. Please note, this is an age-old practice that they have been using for many millennium of time. They are often highly accusatory, claiming that if you question them that you don't work with the group, you don't work well with others, that you don't have a right to ask them to leave the planet. None of this is based upon truth. So much will be accounted for, and the truth will be revealed. We have proof of their destructive forces in Orion. We have proof of their intention to destroy human existence. The reason why we are discussing this to you now is because we believe that for the first time, they can be defeated. It is destiny that humans are the ones who can stop them from a galactic takeover. This is the time now. We are here. Call upon us. We have been waiting. You have been waiting for us, and we have been waiting for you to step into your power to help humanity continue to thrive. And that is the end of the transmission from the Tri Force Conglomerate. So today I have a guest to discuss briefly about the transmission, and his name is Ray. He'll be joining us right now. Hello, Ray.
Hello, Jess. Good. Glad to hear you.
Well, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, great pleasure. Well, this is a bit of a change around, isn't it, in special powers that we thought who was actually running the show.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
Well, all the things that mostly I've been listening to is always the Greys, always been the robotic type. All different, well, not necessarily all Greys, because all Greys was the tall Greys, the short Greys, but these Orion Greys was supposed to be a part of the group with the Draco reptilians, and as far as I could work out, the Draco reptilians was the ones that were supposed to be in charge. But now it seems to be like the Dracos seem to be the footwork, and the captains and the leaders seem to be the Orion Greys. So we've been a bit misled there.
Right,
so what do you? Well, most of the stuff I've been listening to, I've been hearing so many people. I'm going to name them, no people, but
Well, I don't think, I think from, if they were observing or had the information, I could see how it could appear that the reptilians and the reptoid species were in control of the Dracos. But when you think about it, isn't it far more intelligent to see that there is something else hiding behind them, and so that the role is actually turned around? You know,
Yeah.
when you look at some of the wars that we've had, it's not fully apparent who's the one that started what, and you know, who are the true aggressors. I mean, there's so much illusion and hidden, you know, hidden information that from it matters in how the information is portrayed in the news and how we see it. And then one nation might portray it in one way, and another nation might portray it in another. And so in either way, you know, there's the good guy and bad guy is kind of framed according to the perspective that they see it from. But in this case, it's more of the mastermind hiding behind a very aggressive force. Because do you think that we would have been as frightened if we saw the Greys as humans are more stirred and frightened by, you know, reptoid species?
Yes, I suppose it's like being less afraid of a giant tiger, and then something less aggressive looking. So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense to me that these are the ones up in front are naturally pulling the strings.
Right. And if you look at the history of humanity,
It's always been the same case.
Yeah, part of the early history of humanity was the dinosaurs or the reptoid species were always the aggressors, the predators, and the ones that you had to watch out for. So
Yeah.
somewhere within, you know, the human genome is this fear associated with the reptilians, and all of these species know this. I mean, they know us better than we know ourselves. The greatest thing that we can understand is that we have a lot of missing information about who we are and how they know us, and how they're able to play with us and manipulate or you know, do all these different things.
Yeah.
And you know, we've had discussions about how that they, you know, are masters at, you know, some of these species, maybe not necessarily the Orion Greys, but they're masters of getting into the dream space and manipulating things, you know, getting past the subconscious and so forth. But yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up. Does anything else stand out regarding the message here?
Well, what they're saying about we saying that the new group, you are the new group, the young ones with old souls, are they representing people like us? So that's what they're saying.
I think they're saying that they had selected certain ones.
Certain ones, yeah.
During, I think it was Eisenhower and after. So there must have been through the visitations of alien contact with Eisenhower and his administration, and then you know the many other administrations that have happened afterwards. Now, I'm talking as an American, so my experience would be the presence of the United States, and some of you are from Europe, and I want to be mindful of that in other parts of the world. But if we were to look at a landmark, it would be around that time period, around the 40s and 50s, when the Tri Force came through and kind of empowered and assisted those that wanted to create points of disclosure. Some of these people are still out there doing the work and helping. They commended them and said, "You've done a great job." But some of the new ones are coming in. Maybe they have different information, different soul history. And for those also, they noted that some of them that started off doing what they were supposed to, and not that they've gone bad, but they got distracted, and it was probably intentional distraction into other agendas. And so it's not like they're angry or removing anything from these that helped out, I think they're happy and that they went so far. But I think the younger ones, the next generation coming up, wants to step in, and they're kind of like, it's like they're behind the gate. You see a horse race, and the
Yeah.
horses that are in front are able to take off, and the ones behind the gate, they want to go, but they
They're
can't.
very, yeah, yeah, I can sense that exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what they showed me. So nobody's getting replaced. It's just that others are going to be stepping in and assisting, and it might feel uncomfortable for those that have been doing the work. And I'm not saying that there may also be those coming from Orion that will come in and try to act as if they're one of those new ones that are coming up too. They're going to jump in. They're going to try different things. They're the masters, one of the masters of deception. I mean, you don't. They're not a large species, but very cerebral, I'll say, highly intelligent, and
Well,
seems like they're strong strategists.
it's the mind control is I should imagine is their power more than anything. So that's how they're probably able to control these other species. Do you think?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Well, we can see an example of it is some of these things that have happened in the Middle East.
Yeah.
I mean, no one seems to be able to fully figure it out. And what I saw was that they were actually jumping onto both sides. Now, that's not going to be a popular statement to come out and say. But remember, humans, if you reach a lower vibration, you are open to influences. And also, some of them could actually, a lot of these species can make themselves look very human. We'll use the scenario of the Matrix, with Mr. Smith showing up everywhere, and that they can literally, change themselves and make themselves look like they belong there,
So
look
what's
like
the
someone
the
you
eye?
know.
Well, so what was that bit about the eye? It just to the left, and you can see a glint.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, they said that there was this one of the. So maybe they look human, but they
Yeah.
might be doing something strange with their eyes. Frequently looking to the left.
That's funny because I watched a video tonight of someone. I'm not going to mention the person, and I saw a glint in the eye, and I thought,
Hmm.
has he got glasses on because he had a cap? It wasn't. And that's just a coincidence, maybe. I don't know. Okay.
No, I think they're trying to bring these things to your attention. And I'm going to
Mm.
look at that part where they said about how they. Let's see. Yeah, it's
The eyes drift to the left with a glint.
right. Often drift to the left. They speak with cunning and deceptive lies. I mean, it's like their lies are very crafted, very, very particular. I was picking up that they, even though almost like it's a lie, but it's so well done.
Yeah.
There's this extra energy about it that it's sort of they make it appear that it's okay, like levels of corruption. Well, I mean, we can take that. That doesn't belong to, they really don't deserve that anymore. It's okay. It's ours anyhow. I mean, somehow like, it's sort of
Yeah.
like that. And I don't know any other way to say it, but it's very, very cunning. Um,
Yeah, but we had many. We have seen many cunning ways on this earth way
yeah,
people work and other
lots
things.
of very,
We can see.
yeah.
We can see through. We can see. We don't need the sunglasses.
No, we don't need, like,
No, we certainly
we
don't
don't need
need
the
it.
glasses. That's right. Although it's starting to become more and more apparent, and that's one of my wishes is to drop a lot of the veils of illusion. A lot of this stuff that we're experiencing, and it's geared toward having us point fingers and blame other humans, but the species are clearly using us against each other, and that was something else that really stood out. They also mentioned about an unusual glow behind the eyelid. So maybe it appears that they have some kind of illumination, kind of, voice of God kind of energy, or something, like inspiring, um,
Well,
angelic,
it's a simple
whatever.
thing to finding out a simple weakness, to see through the deception, and that's what we've got to look out for these just simple things like that, and we can see through these entities, and we will end up finding them and defeating them. This is the power of the people, and it is the time for the power of the people to wake up and rise up.
Well, I think that the Triforce is a very, very non-violent group. They're mostly frequency and tone. And they have spoken to me recently, about the Saturn cube that I was seeing, and they asked me to help them with that, and I shared that with everyone.
Well, sorry, Jess, but I've been saying about the cube, you're saying these Orion Greys, but wasn't it that Eisenhower met the Orion Greys and they gave him the Orion cube? Have you heard that story?
No, I haven't, but that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Well, I heard that, yeah,
Yeah.
a long time ago.
It's mesmerizing. Yeah, because you don't know which species is here for a benevolent reason and which one isn't.
And they stuck the cube in his hand, and he said, "My God, they can read my mind."
Mm-hmm.
That's the story I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to look into that and see it. Everything that I bring in, I'm seeing, and, I guess in some ways there's no filter, there's no, like, hey, I have to say what's politically correct, or I have to check what everyone else is saying to make sure I say exactly what they say also. I'm not doing any of that. I deliberately don't listen to others' YouTubes, not because I don't respect them. Some of them have some really good information, but I really want to keep a clear channel, and
Yeah.
because of that, I have had people get unhappy that I'm not saying exactly what everyone else is saying, and unfortunately, either I do a real channel or else I'm going to walk away from this, because I'm not going to say anything that I feel that is untrue. I
No.
don't want to be a part of that.
Well, this is how you do it. You do this work the way you want to do it, and that's the only way you can do it. So that's the best thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, personally too, I don't want to be responsible. If something has to be done on the planet, I'm going to provide the information. And in this case, they're telling and reminding those that are probably reluctant to step forward because they don't know. They're unsure for so long that they were held back. So now they're given the opportunity to, they're encouraging them. We know who you are. We know your energy signature. We know that you have the information and the ability to do something about this. And that doesn't mean that they're going to go out and go into a battle mode physically. But these are spiritual warriors, and some of them know exactly what to do. And that's exactly what's happened. I mean, this is greater than what humans imagine.
Well,
We
I
have
think,
to do.
yeah. Well, I don't want necessarily us humans to go into a battle mode, but knowing who they are is one big bonus. I think and the more people know, the bigger the wake up, the bigger the power.
Right. Knowledge is power. The
Yeah,
more we know,
exactly.
the more detailed information that we can get, the easier then we can protect. This is not about just getting into battle, but you
No,
have to.
that's right.
It's okay to protect. If people say that there's wrong to protect, then why do you put locks on your door? Why do you lock your car?
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, unfortunately, we're not in that state of benevolence where we can just, totally be free and say, come on and take whatever you need, and we trust everyone. And in theory, that's where we should be, but it's in realistic thought that's not exactly where we're at right now. So I have some people that are very much into super soldiers and have military background that listen to me, and then I have another group that are very much into the new age that listen to me, and there's conflicting views. But I wouldn't, separating from all of that, I think that I'm responsible if I'm getting the information, I'm responsible to share it. And if I could prevent something from happening, I think prevention is the key, then I'm happy to be involved in that.
Well, I'm glad you come out with this news, Jess. I think it's a great news for humanity, and I hope many people listen to it and see another side of the story, what's actually going on. So it'd be really interesting.
I'll be happy too if when the people who they're calling out to, and maybe they hear this message or they don't, but I'll be happy when if we can have some peace in that part of the world, that would be wonderful. So, but thank you, Ray. This is a good stepping stone in the right direction. I appreciate you joining me today for this short special report.
Thank you, Jess. It's a pleasure.
Okay,
Thank you.
and have a good day, everyone. We'll be back for other transmissions in the future. Keep tuned in. Bye for now.